Hi and welcome to a new and exciting and probably very irregular segment, Matthew Reads Infowars.com. I'm going into this completely unaided. I haven't looked at Infowars for a while. I thought I'd check in to see what Alex Jones and his co-writers are saying on Infowars.com to give you an idea of what's going on in this particular little part of the conspiracy sphere. So, let's hit the page, which is already up there as you can see, and find out what the people at Infowars are actually thinking. So obviously we've got our requisite story on Scalia. Media ignores why Scalia was on free trip to swanky resort. That actually looks like it should be worth looking at. Let's click on that and find out what the story is. Oh, I'm excited. Forget the eulogy to Scalia. Why was he on a free trip to a swanky resort? So this is going to be the who was actually paying him, what's really going on behind the scenes. Oh, Scalia's co-host John B. Poindexter, the billionaire owner of J.B. Poindexter & Co. of Houston, had an age discrimination case before the Supreme Court last year. Oh, that is interesting. I'm going to stroke my chin now. That's the kind of thing that makes me think, ooh, maybe a conspiracy theory is going to come up. And yes, Poindexter admitted the free trip was a gift. Poindexter claims traditionally he does not charge his VIP guests for their stay at a number of the getaways Scalia attended. Oh dear. So this is basically a conspiracy theory, or at least the beginning of a conspiracy theory here, suggesting that Scalia's trip to the resort was actually part of some grandiose plan to get him to decide on a particular matter. Although how that fits in with the death conspiracy theories about the Supreme Justice, I don't know. Let's actually see if they've said anything else about the Supreme Justice's death. So, let's use the search box. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, loading. 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 I actually don't think it's doing anything, actually. I don't think. Let's try that again. Please disable ad blocking services to see your results. No. So we'll just have to rely on the front page for this. Alright, so what we've got is our top stories. Trump calls for Apple boycott over encryption. Good luck with that, Donald. Trump inside. Trump will audit the Fed. The Pope, a classic fake liberal. Well, that looks exciting. And Glenn Beck, God killed Scalia to help Ted Cruz. Well, that is rather... Ooh, featured stories. Homework assignment. Tell your parents you're converting to Islam. Alright, let's have a look at this presumably quite racist story. This is by Paul Joseph Watson. He's someone who I've had some interactions with on Twitter. Interesting person. Really seems to hate feminism. Quite irrationally too, I might add. Not that there's actually any rational reason to hate feminism, but his particular hatred of feminism is so irrational as to be actually quite astoundingly irrational. But that's probably just his male brain. Male brains work that way. They are quite irrational. I feel sorry for the poor man. Homework assignment given to school children on the island of Guernsey. Oh, we're now going to the UK. Asked 13-year-olds to write a letter to their parents explaining why they're converting to Islam. Oh, that does look interesting. So this is presumably an educational exercise where you're playing a hypothetical. If you were to consider converting to Islam, what would be your reasons behind it? Explain those reasons in a letter, so you're combining both reasoning skills and writing skills into one particular school exercise. That's actually not a terrible idea. But what I can see is that he's going, Islam-appeasing teachers such as Miss Stables are pushing a view of Islam that is completely divorced from reality. Imagine how it must feel for the parent of a daughter to find out she's been asked to write positively about joining a religion where women are not just second-class citizens, but where they are considered as the property of men. That is a quote from... Oh, where is it a quote from? I mean, there are quotation marks here, but there is no source for the quote. It's a bit weird to write with quotation. I mean, so there's quotation marks throughout this. So there's a quotation here about the exercise. Complete the letter you started. focus. Although the story has been circulating. And yet, then we've got this the Fahrenheit. It's very early in the morning. I'm still wearing my pajamas, as you can see. This is the Fahrenheit 210 blog. Fahrenheit 210 does not sound like it's going to be the most reputable sources. Let's quickly look at a tab to see what Fahrenheit 210 is. Religion, politics, culture, and a whole lot more. Counter-jihad merchandise. The Bearded Savages of the Day collection. This does look like it's an Islamophobic website. I see. Fahrenheit 211, the temperature at which I believe piss boils. How very classy. Centre right, reasonably free-thinking person with interest in theology and politics expressed in eclectic and often poorly spelt manner. For some reason I thought manner there really probably should have been in quotes. I don't know why. Okay, concern with the growth of radical Islam. So that explains where those quotes come from. What it doesn't explain is why this person's been quoted in this news story, but that's another matter entirely. What else do we have? That's got Goldman Sachs and a giant squid, which is kind of interesting, except that the actual description, tech entrepreneur, I can't say that word, complains about enduring victims of the economic destruction of America. Doesn't seem particularly promising from a conspiracy theory angle. New York Daily News labels Trump the Antichrist. I'm beginning to think the Daily News doesn't like Donald Trump. Well, I imagine if they are labelling him the Antichrist, that's probably a good reason to think they don't like him. That's a particularly good picture there of Donald Trump, which does make him look rather scaly. You almost would hope. Oh, look at that. There's the actual cover of the Daily News. Pope calls out hateful Trump. A person who thinks only about building walls and not bridges is not Christian. And then they've got the words Antichrist with an exclamation mark. Daily News previously depicted Trump as a clown and branded his supporters as mindless zombies. That's really more a juggalo than a clown, I would have thought. You kind of buy Trump as a juggalo, but you know, that's just me. That's my particular own fetish, and I'm willing to admit to it publicly. So let's just leave that there. So the story actually is nowhere near as interesting as the headline suggests. I was hoping for claims that Donald Trump being elected would open the gates of hell and the rapture would occur, and there's just nothing of that. It's just that he's a bad man, probably not a Christian, and for some reason the New York Daily News has gone, well, he's not a Christian, therefore the Antichrist, which is going to make them very disturbed about the country of Aotearoa, New Zealand, which is filled with atheists, so presumably it's also a country filled with antichrists. Can there be a plural? I thought there was really only meant to be one Antichrist. Can you have multiple Antichrists? Well, I should know. I live in a country filled with them. Confidante. Trump is always wearing a bulletproof vest. That's not particularly... I mean, that's probably sensible, given he's a public figure trying to run for president. In America, which is filled with guns. Rutgers students hold group therapy session after Milo... So... I should point out I have speech disfluency and also was actually relatively deaf in my early years, so I didn't really learn basic sounds at the right point of time, which is my justification now for saying I really am not going to try to pronounce this person's second name because I'm just going to really foul it up. A student described feeling scared, hurt, discriminated against. That's going to be your bog standard conspiracy theory about how students these days are mollycoddled and are unable to cope with anything which is diversive. I think I mean divisive. Anyway, it's the standard political correctness conspiracy theory. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Probably should have had my coffee before I started making this video. Fox News poll, Clinton feels the burn. Everyone loves that, feels the burn. Trails Sanders by 3 points nationally. That's probably actually mainstream news. Good for you for giving it to us, Infowars.com, but I really was actually coming here for the really wacky conspiracy theory news, and there's less of it than I thought, although there is stuff which is supporting the general types of conspiracy theories about the media not reporting on things that Infowars is so fond of. So leaked German government report shows refugees committed 200,000 crimes between 2014 and 2015. Is that in Germany alone, or is that across the EU? It's a leak, which makes you wonder whether the numbers being quoted are actually real, or is someone making up news by going, oh, there's a leak of some information coming out. 32% of those crimes are acid or fraud. That means people not basically claiming things that they didn't have when they entered the country. 33% due to theft. 1% sexual assaults. Alright, so this is actually buying into the line that Infowars has been actually going on for a while now, which are alleged sexual assaults caused by immigrants whilst in the EU, particularly in Germany. We should point out this is highly contested, and several of the reports of people being sexually assaulted by immigrants have actually turned out to be false. So there's been a whole lot of discussion here about all the evil immigrants bringing their evil ways into Europe, and then turning out that actually some of that's just general xenophobia by people in Europe not wanting immigrants in their community and actually making up claims. Let's not focus on that too much because it just disturbs me, truth be told. What else do we have? Infowars unravels Scalia murder mystery, although that's a video. It's probably not good to play a video inside a video. It'll also play havoc with the way I'm recording sound at the moment. The head of primary. Trump needs walls like the Vatican. So that's someone actually making fun of the fact that the Pope has said, tear down these walls, Donald Trump. And actually Donald Trump would be able to respond by going, yeah, the Vatican's actually a walled city. Maybe you should pull down your walls first. Here's why Scalia didn't get an autopsy. Alright, this is an Infowars exclusive. And it's probably the right point to end this particular video on, since the Scalia conspiracy theories are quite fascinating. I'm not convinced at all that Justice Antonin Scalia was killed by orders of the US President Barack Obama. But at the same time, I can kind of see why people are thinking there's something suspicious about his death. He was allegedly in rude health. I'm saying allegedly here because medical experts say no, actually he'd been ill for quite some time. He died whilst on holiday. His body was allegedly found with a pillow over his head. That by itself is not particularly suspicious. Many people sleep with pillows over their heads to stop noise or light from getting to them, to aid them from, sleeping in the morning. And the bit which does seem a bit suspicious, I should have said but there, but I said and instead, is the fact that there wasn't an autopsy. So you have a relatively mysterious death where the family says no, don't do an autopsy, and the judge who declares the death by natural causes doesn't actually see the body. That kind of adds up to, maybe an autopsy would have been a good idea just to allay any suspicion that maybe there was something mysterious about this death. But Infowars has the exclusive here, which is, let's have a look. It's a video. His body was moved around the place. It's been phoned to Virginia. Alright, so actually it's a video. So you'll have to actually go to Infowars.com and click on this video to find out. Because I'm not going to embed the video inside this video, as it says, we'll play havoc with the sound. And also, that just seems a bit cruel to the people at Infowars.com. If you want to find out what they believe, I think you should probably go and actually look at the site. But that doesn't quite give me the big ending for this video that I was hoping for. Let's see if there's anything else. Let's end with what's on sale at the store. Super Male Vitality, only $59.99 US. The new all-advanced Super Male Vitality formula uses the newest extraction technology with even more powerful concentrations of various herbs and extracts, designed to be even stronger. Even stronger than what? Presumably just male vitality? Or was there a previous, less advanced version of Super Male Vitality, which maybe only gave you slight strength, but the ability to turn invisible and to scale walls using only the power of your mind? Who knows? If I had a Patreon for these kind of videos, I could then raise money to buy some Super Male Vitality. But even if I had a Patreon for these videos, I wouldn't be buying strange drugs to enhance my strength from Infowars.com, that just seems like a poor life choice. And with that news of poor life choices I'm not going to commit, I'm going to bid you a fond farewell. This was an interesting attempt at making a video, reading a website. I don't know whether I'll do it again. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. If I get comments on this video, well, that'll be interesting. That'll be very interesting indeed. This is the usual point in time where someone says, click here to subscribe now, or they do a little funky dance, or they tell an amusing pun to try and make you laugh. I'm going to do none of that. I'm just going to stare at the screen with a glare for a few seconds, and then make everything fade to black.